The scripture that is being the most meaningful and relatable to me these days is actually the collective writers of the Psalms. And of course, we mostly think about David, the shepherd boy who became the king of Israel. When I was younger, for about 30 years, I used to have the rhythm of reading 5 Psalms and a proverb every day in January and July. I let that go many years ago, but with our summer series about the Psalms, it drew me back to that practice. And I loved being invited back to that practice. The difference was I would move more slowly. I didn't feel the need to check off 5 in a row, but I was able to just sit with one or even a line of one to help me sit with it and how God was speaking to me. So for me, the Psalms are important for a couple reasons. They model authentic expression and give permission to say whatever's going on inside. And honestly, in the midst of the turbulence of where we are around the world, in our nation, all the division, it's created a lot of feelings, which is interesting because then we had the sermon series on uncomfortable or hard feelings. And so when I go to the Psalms, there's expressions of confusion and anger, complaint, distress. There's also praise and thanksgiving, worship, and whatever. And so it's been very helpful when I am at a loss for words and I don't really like what's going on inside of me. I've been able to go back to the Psalms and find some of my favorite ones that have helped me pray, as the Spirit says in Romans, that the Spirit will pray with groanings when I don't have words to, and the Psalms have actually provided that help when I can pray words that have lasted for centuries and be helped by, honestly, being invited into the prayer closet of the writers of the Psalm and what they were struggling with. So, of course, I have these favorites, as you might too. Psalm 23 is always a favorite, the Lord is my shepherd. But I've also loved Psalm 3, the Lord is the shield about me and the lifter of my head. When I am really saddened and have been in the darkest times of my life, Psalm 34 has been such a helpful place to lift me up. And I think for me, therefore, the Psalms has been helpful, and it's been very anchoring, and it's taken me back to that practice, which I probably will do again in January, and kind of connect my younger self to where I am these days. One of the things that also is true about Psalms is I remember a sermon I heard at least 25 years ago, and the series talked about the phrase that was actually called, "But God." And the point of the sermon invited us to be honest with God, to return to the Psalms. And when you look at the Psalms that have complaint, lament, confusion, pain, doesn't that sound like our sermon series we just got over? Many of them turn right back and they end with this idea, but God. It's like I have been able to be honest. I've been able to let God into my pain or my confusion, my frustration, whatever the feeling. And it's brought me back to saying, but God, you're good. You're in control. I trust you. You have this way more than I'll understand. And so it's an invitation to trust. And so I just want you to know how thankful I am for the provision of the Psalms, to be literally in people's prayer closet, how they related to God, and how they have encouraged me, along with our 2 sermon series, to sink in and let God meet me in my heart, soul, and mind, and to invite me to trust, rest, and live gratefully.